Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Vaughn with CCM Magazine, and I'm here today to talk to our special guest, Dante Bowe, about his new album, Circles, that is out now. Hi, Dante. How are you?
Hey, how are you? I'm
I-
good.
I'm doing great. Congrats on the album. It's absolutely beautiful. I feel like there's a huge family flow through this album. I feel like that, you talk about your mom and your granddad, and I would love to just know how they inspired you to write music.
Yeah, my mom and dad were like huge into like and just huge into music. They loved hip hop, R&B, and then obviously like my grandparents were preachers, so we listened to a lot of gospel and stuff like that. But also just like they've personally inspired my music, just how they kind of live their lives, their stories and stuff. Like a lot of their stories I'm telling in these songs, but yeah, they've inspired the actual musical side and also just like the practical things that like their stories and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah.
I don't think people might not, well, I think people might not realize that in the span of 3 years, you went from being homeless to having a record deal and being this award winning songwriter and singer. How did your musical journey start?
Yeah, like I'll say like it started when I was like 16, 17, when I just started like just loving music, doing that. Um, but to fast forward to what you're talking about, the homeless thing, I was working as a worship pastor, and I felt like God wanted me to just, chase my dreams because I've always had dreams of being a singer. I love music, and I love what it does for people. And anyway, I so I quit that job, and I had to live with my friend Michelle and her roommate Sydney Scott, and I just stayed on their couch
Hmm.
for like, I don't know, a year. And I would like pretty much go to my car every morning, get my clothes, change, go to the couch, whatever. And it was just a really dark time in my life. I went through a depression. I was just, like hoping for something better, and I just felt like I was stuck. And anyway, God sent some friends who are now my managers to kind of just come and talk to me. They're like, "Hey, what's up with you? How are you doing? Like, are you good? Like, let's do something. Like, let's do something exciting. Let's get you out of this." And they pretty much started helping me just do more music and like just kind of like get back into the swing of things and get out of my rut.
Yeah.
And I ended up moving to, long story short, I ended up moving to Georgia. And from, that move, as soon as I got to Georgia, I felt like these massive doors started to open where I just started writing for a bunch of like my heroes. They started calling me and stuff. And so, yeah.
Now let's talk about your song Joyful. I love how you say that joy is a choice. It really, really is. I think that, we have to be very intentional about being joyful, because I think so many times people say, I just want to be happy. And they don't realize that happy and joyful are two different, very different
Yeah.
emotions. What inspired joyful for you?
Yeah. It actually came in a time where there wasn't much to be joyful about. It was in the middle of COVID and all the other stuff. And I just felt like, man, I want to write something upbeat. I think I just felt so like, I was like, man, I got with my really good friend Ben Scottfield, who produced it in Nashville. And I'm like, let's just write something fast and upbeat. I want people to like be able to dance again. And like, I don't know, like go on their summer drives with their families or whatever, and have something to listen to that's positive.
Mhm.
And so that really inspired the song in and of itself. And yeah, joy is just a choice. It's like an everyday decision that you have to make. You know what I mean? Happiness comes and goes. It's when something good happens, you can be happy, but like joy, in the middle of the storm, you can still dance.
Yep,
You
very
know?
good. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Do you have a favorite lyric on the album for you?
Um, I think on All God's Children, I love when I say we were all created to be a little complicated. Ain't nobody perfect. He'll set us free.
Mhm.
I love that. We were all created to be a little complicated. No one's perfect, but he'll set us free. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I really love that line in on that
That
album.
that line stuck out for me too when I was listening to that song. I was like, "Oh, that's so true. We are a little
Yeah,
complicated, each in our own different way." Um,
yeah.
if somebody sits down and listens to this album, start to finish, what's the message and that you want them to take away from it?
That there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Mhm.
That there's hope. There's always hope. Nothing bad lasts forever. It doesn't last forever. There's always, the morning, after the night, there's always the morning. So yeah, that's what I would want people to take away from it.
Well, I can tell you, I heard that throughout the album. So I think you nailed it head on there. As we wrap up our interview, is there a message of hope that you would like to leave with the CCM viewers?
Sure. Yeah. Just never give up. At the greatest point of tension, there's always breakthrough.
Mhm.
You know, one of my mentors used to take a rubber band and he would stretch it till its limits, and then as soon as it gets like that greatest point of tension, it just pops. And so, yeah, I would just say, just don't give up. You know, the breakthrough's right around the corner.
Mhm. Well, Dante, thank you so much for stopping by today and talking to CCM. And everyone, Circles is out now. So, however you consume music, please go and listen to this album. This young man has a lot to say, and it's very important. And I promise you, you will be dancing to Joyful. And Dante, thank you so much for stopping by. It was great talking to you today.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.